know, back in the day when we used to could, I've been thinking about this for a while. Used to could, what does that mean? Well, we're in the year 2020, and if nobody has noticed, if nobody's paid any attention, we have a global pandemic of not only one of the deadliest viruses in modern times, but also a reminder of the systemic racism in this country, the USA. It's not anything new. Racism is a virus, and it's worse than COVID-19. But the whole thing behind the idea of used to could, when I was younger, my entire family gave me to believe that a handshake is the law. A handshake is a contract. Nowadays, a handshake could be a death sentence if someone else has a virus that you don't know about. Now, yeah, at the time of this video, I'm 58 years old, and kids nowadays, they're not taught anything about a handshake being a law, an honor between two people, be it two men, two women, a man and a woman, whatever. The handshake was the law. Now, some of you may have already exited this video, and if you have, that's fine. But for those of you that are still watching, I want you to think about something. I want you to ponder something for me, if you will. The average length from the tip of my nose to the end of my hand on me is just over 3 foot. They tell you the safe zone is roughly 6 foot. A little more if you can get by with it. Something I never thought I would do. I carry hand sanitizer with me wherever I go now. Call it fear, call it smart, whatever you want to call it. But it went some years ago, a friend of mine at a place I work, every time he'd come by my desk, we shook hands, kind of laughed, you know. What is it with these kids now that don't want to shake hands? They don't want to shake hands. Alright, I get it. A fist bump is even said to be wrong now. Well, a fist bump still puts me about, with your arm and mine, about 6 foot face to face. Well, let me ask you a question, and yeah, we talked about this a little bit in last week's Open Pagan Church. But who in the hell come up with the idea that an elbow bump is safer? Call me stupid if you want to, but I grew up with good old fashioned arithmetic. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. Well, from here to here is not that far. And by the time you get close enough to somebody to fist bump with them, you may as well kiss them because you're right face to face. What if we turned into? Yeah, some of you may say, well, that's just another old codger blowing off of the steam, but let's think a little bit about common sense here. I know, not very common these days. But an elbow bump? Hell, you may as well kiss them. And you know, I don't care what color you are. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't see color, because that's bullshit. If you're a black man and you and I have made a deal, I'm going to honor that deal, not because you're black, but because you're a human being. If you're a Hispanic, Oriental, hell, if you're a Satanist, a Christian, a pagan, Jewish, any other religion you want to say. If I make a deal with you, and we've agreed to it, that agreement should stand. The whole idea behind used to could I used to could shake someone's hand, and that was an agreement between myself and whoever I shook hands with. I guess today I'm still okay with shaking your hand, but I'm going to use my hand cleaner afterwards. I'm not going to elbow bump with you, elbow bump, because, well, quite frankly, that's just too damn close. And anybody who follows the pagan philosophy knows that that breaks my heart. Because I used to be able to hug and to greet my brothers and sisters in not just the pagan community, but period. If I saw an old friend I haven't seen in a long time, I could give him a hug. Here in 2020, we can't do that. I used to could sit and talk with friends of mine face to face about religious philosophy, political hypocrisy, servers, computers. I've got a friend that I have not seen since this whole damn thing started, lives just up the road, that because he and I both are high risk, I can't even really go over and sit and meet his new family. It's a crying ass shame. I could turn this whole thing political, but why? I'm just another guy, like everybody else, that is hung up in this crap that is killing people left and right. We're coming up on Samhain. In fact, Samhain's not that far away. And you know, we joke about it and we say, I'll be in circle in spirit. I will be. And I'll light a candle for the ancestors and the thinning of the veil and what some call the pagan new year for Samhain. I woke up this morning with a splitting ass sinus headache. My voice still is not better. But, as you can tell, I can kind of talk. I don't like what's going on today. The virus of COVID, the virus of systemic racism, the days when we used to be able to hug our brethren, shake hands, pat each other on the back. I think a big part of the problem with society right now is our ability to shake hands and hug each other has been yanked away from us by something that is a whole lot bigger than we are. And being human beings like we are, we want someone to blame it on. Government says blame the Japanese. No, I blame the human race for not being intelligent enough to pay attention to the science that's going on around them. Think about used to could and hang on to what you've got. Do the best you can. And to you pagans out there that watch my broadcast, WeeklyBlast, Open Pagan Church, whatever, remember something. Go out and hug a tree. If you live in an apartment and don't have a front yard, call your friend and say, hey, look, I know we're social distancing, but damn, man, can I come and sit in your backyard and just feel the grass beneath my feet? Go to the park somewhere where maybe you're away from people. Damn, I hate saying that. And hug a tree. Trees don't have COVID-19 and they don't have to wear a mask. We're coming in on Samhain. And in the memories of the ancestors of Samhain, I remember when we used to could. And it's the simple things. Shaking hands with our neighbor that may live next door or across the street. Hugging someone we may not have seen in a while. Being able to sit down with your family or your friends over a drink, whatever you drink. Let's think about the future. Me, I'm going to carry my hand cleaner and I'm going to wear my mask when I go out in public. Just because I want to keep my family safe. And I want to keep those around me safe. Maybe you'll do the same. Don't dwell too much on used to could though. Embrace the future. Go for what you know. And hang in there, guys. We're going to get through this. Pray, light candles, cast up your circles, Do whatever you do and pray to whatever deity you pray to, that this whole damn thing comes to an end with as few deaths and illnesses as possible. Thank you for listening to an old guy ramble on the Weekly Blast. Not always politically correct and not always nice. And well, some of my little Weekly Blast things you may not want your kids to listen to. But if you're watching and you're listening, feel free to share this thing, because maybe it'll help somebody get through. Blessings to you and yours, and we'll catch you on the flip side.